Hey guys, welcome back to another episode here on Mcubed, of course, for all things fantasy sci-fi. As always, I'm your host Schmook, and I hate to say I have been gone for a hot minute. You know, life gets busy. I know my boys Harris and Sam have been a little busy too, so I hope they're not too upset. But anyway, we've had an insane show come out, of course, in the area of Star Wars that, of course, I love deeply. So we had the Book of Boba Fett. Good show. There's gonna be a 7-part series I'm doing right here. I'm gonna be reviewing every episode. And of course, we're going to talk about the future of Star Wars, okay? But yeah, let's just get right into episode 1 of the Book of Boba Fett. Alright, so Book of Boba Fett, we see our main character, Boba Fett. If you've seen the whole series, you know that he eventually becomes not the main character in a show that's called the Book of Boba Fett. But when we get to that point, it gets fun. But anyway, so episode 1. I know a lot of people don't like the start of this season. I actually really like episodes 1, 2, and 4. I think the only episode I really don't like this series is episode 3. Of course, we're going to go into that quite a bit once we get to those episodes. Of course, we haven't seen any live-action Star Wars since the end of Mando Season 2, which was in December of 2020, I believe, right? So it was basically a full year since we've seen anything live action from Star Wars. Pretty sad, but you know, we got a good show out of it. So with the first episode of Book of Boba Fett, we start off with seeing Boba Fett in this bacta tank, because of course he's been messed up, because the last time we see him in the universe as a whole outside of Mando, we see him fall into the Sarlacc pit on Tatooine outside of Jabba's barge, right? In Return of the Jedi. And this episode picks up right where we saw him last in terms of like the main storyline, right? So he is in the bacta tank, and then we see like these flashbacks, right? Which is cool. Most of this episode and episode 2 are primarily flashback episodes, which I dig. So when we see him, he escapes the Sarlacc pit, almost dies. He's able to somehow get out of there, and he is just knocked out cold, and then Jawa steals his armor. He wakes up to find these Tuscan Raiders kind of looting him, or like they basically imprison him, right? It's cool to see more of these Tuscan Raiders. Like we haven't really got much of them since the original trilogy, and like it's cool to like really dive into what their culture's like, specifically on Tatooine. They're like the natives of Tatooine, like how Wookiees are for Kashyyyk, right? So we see Boba Fett follow him. He tries to escape multiple times, but then we get to a point where, again, he's like in prison. So he's trying to find these little water ball things, like it's like a coconut. The Tuscan Raiders want this, you know, for like water, a water source, right? Because again, you're on Tatooine, and they're savages to an extent. Like, I mean, they're just like a tribe or something where they're not civilized per se. I mean, they're civil, like they have their colony or whatever, right? He's doing this for them, and then it gets to a point where they're digging, and then this like weird like Machamp looking thing, it literally looks like a thing straight out of Pokemon, attacks like a youngling type of Tuscan Raider. Boba Fett takes it out, and then he gets some respect from the Tuscan Raiders, which is cool. And that's basically all we get from the flashback. It's cool to see. Of course, there's obviously way more into it, but I think those are the highlights of the flashback. But then we come back to modern time, where he is officially like the head honcho on Tatooine. He took over Bib Fortuna's role, and of course that role was Jabba the Hutt's before him, the biggest gangster possibly in the universe. So now Boba Fett's taking that reign, and he's trying to make Tatooine a safer and better place. So he goes around like Mos Espa, talking to other people. He's getting like his I don't want to say rewards, but like they're just paying him some credits or whatnot, just to be like, take care of us, keep us safe, right? And that happens with this it's just like a fancier Mos Eisley cantina, which is run by this Twi'lek woman, very attractive. But anyway, it's cool to see this side of Star Wars, like after Return of the Jedi, like we're seeing like how the Underworld somewhat operates, which is fun. After that, it's Boba Fett and Fennec Shan at this point. They're the only two like running things, Jabba's palace, and then some Gamorrean guards. They come out of this cantina, and they're getting attacked by these assassins, right, that are hired from someone. We don't know who at this point, and they capture this assassin. It's a cool fight sequence. It's one of the only like action sequences we see of Boba Fett in this show. Kind of sucks. We don't see him with his helmet on much at all either. But anyway, that's really it for episode 1, because again, this episode goes right into episode 2. We figure out what goes on with the assassins, who they think sent the assassins, and blah blah blah, going into episode 2. Alright, so that's gonna be it for this episode 1. Again, make sure to check out the rest of the videos. They should be up as well pretty soon after this episode is put out on YouTube, okay? So make sure to like and subscribe, and leave your comments down below. Let me know what you guys think about the Book of Boba Fett, because I mean, it was a solid show. With episode 1, I think it was a good episode to kind of get the idea what the show's gonna be about. Like, it has to do a little bit with this Underworld stuff, as well as what's going on with Boba Fett. Alright guys, make sure to have a good one, and check out Book of Boba Fett. Alright, bye bye.